for coming out to support. And, you know, this is not just a celebration, it's always, for me, a time to share awareness. So you'll see information around about making sure that you take 2 minutes to check your tube. That's what 2for2Boobs stands for, if you want to know. That's both men and women. Because my father and my brother both had breast cancer. So men, take it seriously. Know your family history. And if you notice any changes or anything wrong, both men and women, go to the doctor. Renee Starling, please come on up. And she'll welcome you, and then we'll bring up the survivors.
Give it up for Tallulah Anderson! I'm Dr. Renee Starling Allen, the host of the Renee Allen and Friends show on WLBS, the largest online radio broadcast in the United States. I also co-host with the Chris Thomas, comedian on Radio 1, Urban 1. Every Thursday morning at 11:30 on 104.1 and 95.5 FM. Listen, I'm excited. This one, we all love her so dearly because she is doing not only for the survivors, thrivers, and warriors, but the people who support them. Come on, give yourselves a round for that. We want to thank SOBE. We want to thank the sponsors, G Natural, Roger Gore Products. I met this wonderful lady over here, the wonderful queens.
Kim from Lobby Concept.
Lobby, Kim, go buy her products. And of course, I'm not doing this event alone tonight. We are doing it in conjunction with Runway for the Cure DC. Ramia? Yes. Okay. So Ramia, last year I contacted her, and I was part of the Runway DC models. I'm not a model, but they let me in the show. And thanks to some wonderful designers who are here tonight that I both wore their clothing. Stand up. See right there. E.T. Yes. And where's Island Fashions? Yes. So I would be remiss if I would not have contacted her to join forces, because this is about raising funds for breast care for Washington. They have a new MobileMammo. And so my goal was to at least raise some funds. Okay, is everything okay? To at least raise some funds that I can add to her funds to reach her goal. So with that, you can say a little bit about the MobileMammo.
Okay. My name is Ramia Henderson. I'm with Runway for Cure DC. I have my crew back there, Coco and Shell, who are part of our board. They help me with everything. I mean everything. But all of the survivors, maybe 90% of the survivors in the room have walked in our show. Our designer, Ivernette, Katrina, they're here to support our mission and our cause. We raise funds for the mammograms of women and men who can't afford to pay for their own mammograms. And we also raise funds for women and men who need a little bit of help financially when they're going through their treatment, because that treatment without insurance is a beast. Right. So we just wanted to come out and support 2for2Boobs in their 5th annual event.
Like this, I got it in the back. And thanks to Jeanette Jones, who's a survivor, in the back holding down my table by herself. Thank you, Jeanette. So with that, I always start with a couple of testimonials. I have 3 lovely women who are going to take like 3 minutes to come up and share a little. And Marquis, I will have her come share, because I always like to show the different faces and ages of breast cancer. It's not what you think it looks like. Everyone's story is different. I had the honor of producing a play recently that features some wonderful 7 breast cancer survivors who told their stories sort of like for color girls only, monologue style, and it was awesome. So some of them are here today, but I wanted some of these survivors who are not in the show to share a little. And we'll start with you, Mark.
Hi, how's everyone doing tonight? Good. So, thank you to Lula for having me. Again, my name is Marquis McPherson. I am a cancer survivor. Thank you. I celebrated 5 years of being cancer-free last month. So a little bit about my story. I was diagnosed at a very young age. I was 24 when I was first diagnosed with cancer. I kind of found the lump on my own in a way. So I actually went to the doctors previously, a year prior to me actually being diagnosed with some irregularities that I found in my breast. And I was told that they weren't suspicious of it, but they wanted me to return in 6 months. I didn't return. What did we say? Life happens. I'm working, I didn't have time to make the appointment, I forgot, family. I never made the appointment and I never went back and returned. About a year later, I discovered the lump by myself. I was actually feeling some pain and I remember just holding myself right here and I ended up just accidentally brushing across it. And then that's when I went in, visited a doctor. They looked back at my previous scans, did an MRI, and the same lump that I was supposed to come visit 6 months ago came up positive for cancer. So with my story, there's 2 things I like to share with women. One, 40 is not the magical number that they say when you should start checking yourself. It can happen a lot sooner. Again, I was only 24. I was also diagnosed with the BRCA gene. And they say that if you have the BRCA gene and you look at the youngest person in your family, you should start getting checked at 10 years prior. The youngest person in my family that got diagnosed with cancer was 36. So that's close for me to be 24. But what do I tell my daughter? I'm diagnosed at 24. Do I tell her she needs to start getting worried about that at 14? You're right. So with my story, I always tell women, cancer does not age discriminate at all. In addition, life happens is not an excuse not to get checked, not to follow up with your doctor's appointments. I was blessed that even with that story, I was only diagnosed at stage 2B and was still able to have a good prognosis and be able to beat it and say I'm a survivor today. But there's definitely been lessons. And I just try to share as much as I can with people that I meet and come across.
So next, we have the wonderful, awesome Sybil. Yeah. I met Sybil in the fashion show. I was admiring her because this girl can model. Okay, I call her Miss Fashion Fair Model. Because she'd be like that kind of model. But she has a wonderful story to share.
Hey everyone, thank you to Lula. It is a pleasure and an honor totally to be here. I'm really not wanting to talk much, but my story actually happened when I was 52. And it was found in a regular mammogram that I had. Can you hear me? Yes. I told you I'm really shy actually. People don't really know that about me. But my story actually happened when I was 52 and I had my annual mammogram. And they actually said that they saw something. And I said, no, I'm good because, I work out, I exercise, and I halfway eat right. So it couldn't be me. But they did do a biopsy and I was found at stage 0. That was 3 years ago, 2016. Fast forward, I had my treatments and I had radiation. I opted not to get my breast removed because I still wanted to keep my tatas for a little bit. And because that's what they said I needed to do. But as it would happen, the following year it came back into my lymph nodes. 2017. Meanwhile, going through all that, I lost my job, I lost everything. But I still persevered because the God that I serve is so great, so I did persevere. So I had to get treatments all over again. I went through chemo, radiation again, and the doctors was very shocked because I was zero. Why is it in my lymph nodes? Because they did do a lymph node check, you know, the sentinel lymph nodes, they checked those and they were negative. So they were really concerned, like, what's going on? They removed 38, 40 lymph nodes from my right side, and out of the 38 that they removed, 10 of them didn't have cancer. But the God that I serve, he's still great. So I'm going to fast forward to today. I know I moved a lot, but I fast forward to today. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I had my annual mammogram. And guess what, y'all? It was clear. So I say to everyone, men and women, please, please notice your breast. Check it, feel it, squeeze it, touch it. If the man touching it, let him touch it. If the woman touch it, let her touch it. But just make sure you check yourself because it's very, very important. Early detection. Although mine was early detection, I'm still here. So it's very, very key. And that's all I want to say. And thank you, Tallulah. I appreciate you.
But if we don't support organizations like this, nobody will. Susan G. Komen is not coming through that door.
Come on now.
I can guarantee you. And as much money as I raised for Susan G. Komen before my diagnosis, they paid me no never mind. I did not get a dime after raising $26,000 for them in one day. So I'm here to let you all know, go in your pockets. If you had not planned on giving anything, then give $1. If you had planned on giving $2, give $4. Because 1 out of 8 women in here, it's going to be your turn.
Wow.
1 out of every 8. It's going to be your turn. So you might bless this organization, and you may have to turn around and give either one of them a call. So I'm saying, please, please, on behalf of the survivors, on behalf of 2for2Boobs, on behalf of Runway for a Cure, please support these organizations. We do our part, but we need you all to do your part too. Can I get an amen? Amen. Can I get an amen? Amen. Turn to your neighbor and say amen. So thank you all so very much. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for coming.
So with that, calling all survivors to the floor. We got 1 here, 2 here, and we need some more. Calling all survivors to the floor. We got some here, and we need some more. Calling all survivors to the floor. We got some here. Wow, look at all these beautiful women. Still coming. Like she said, 1 in 8. And some of these women I didn't even know were survivors. I'm just realizing they are. Like one of my secret sponsors, Xerox.
Came to, we're going to need to do a biopsy. Now this is getting serious. And so I did the biopsy and I went about my business. And about 3 days later, I'm driving and I get a call and it says, Miss Williams, you have breast cancer. Now, I'm driving and I get this call, but still, I'm going about my day. I get to my office and I sit and I have my pity party really quick, but for some reason, God just reached out to me and he said, put that behind you. We're going to take care of you.
Right.
And he sends a 7-year survivor out of the back office who's just walking through to go to the restroom and she says, are you okay? And I just broke down and said, no, I don't think so. But she said, it's going to be okay. She said, you want to talk? No, you want to talk? And I said, okay. So she told me her story. And once she told me her story, I just picked up and I just told the Lord, I just said to the Lord as he told me, I said, Lord, you have this and I'm going to go go on about my day. And that's what I did. And one thing I've learned is that make sure, if you're ever diagnosed with anything, with breast cancer for me, just make sure you surround yourself with inspiring people and people who actually know. People who are going to keep you lifted, such as Tallulah has for me. People, and before, I could only listen to people who had breast cancer. I didn't know what to say. All I could do is listen. But now I feel that God took me through this so that I could actually talk to it. I could actually understand. He took me through the whole bout. I had to have chemo and radiation and then other treatment, and I was out of work, and I went through the whole bout, and people don't even know my story. Pretty much almost bankrupt because of having cancer. But the Lord saw me through it, and now I can talk to it, and I say to the many women who experience this today, one thing I always say, my friend said, "Are you attached to your boobs?" And I said, "No, they're attached to me."
How about that?
So, I mean, the next Monday when I went in to have this decision, because the decision had to be made so quickly, I just told them I want a double mastectomy. And the doctor said, "Well, Ms. Williams, no, we don't need to do that. For my mother, my daughter, my sister, I wouldn't say we have to do that. But you do need to go through the treatment." And I say to you, I thank you all. And Marquis, who told me to get a port, that was important. It's important to have people who know. And I thank you for listening to my story. Sorry to take so much time, but I am so blessed to have these women standing behind me, lifting me as I lift you. And I tell you, if you have a story to tell, please tell it, because people don't understand what we go through.
All right, come on up, sir. Come on up. Let your man tell them your name, your job, and what you do.
Ladies, I am honored to be here. And to somebody's point earlier, I'm not quite sure what her name was, the devil is truly alive. So on behalf of my mother, who died at 39 years old from cancer, and on behalf of a 501 nonprofit that I started with several others, we want to do two things. One, invite you to our signature event, which is Boots and Bow Ties. Perhaps some of you have heard of it. It's the 7th of December. But two, we want to donate $1,000 to support
It's so exciting here at SOBE Restaurant and Lounge for 2for2Boobs 5th year celebration. None other than Tallulah Anderson. I am so excited to be here. G Natural Hair Products is here, the sponsor,
represent. We most definitely are available for any cause that's available.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Pink October, 2for2Boobs, and of course Runway for the Cure DC.
Yes.
Come on